I want to be TikTok famous.
I want to be TikTok famous.
That's a tandem that TikTok can't survive.
That's a tandem that TikTok can't survive.
He's also a pioneer in the TikToking game.
He's also a pioneer in the TikToking game.
Put crunch time on TikTok.
Put crunch time on TikTok.
Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of Crunch Time, the show where I ask a sports-related question to a panel of 4 contestants who present their answers to me in the form of 1-minute video rants. My name is Liam Crothers, and considering that the UFC has continued to put off fight card after fight card, I decided to ask our panelists Ella, Hunter, Lucas, and Kennedy what 2 non-MMA athletes need to face off inside the octagon. Oh, and Dana White, I'm sorry about that whole too hot to handle thing, because I'm pretty sure they stole Fight Island from you. But this is what you get for canceling Khabib and Tony. Again. The rules of the game are simple. Our 4 contestants present their rants to me, and when the episode is over, you, the audience, votes on the winner, either in the comments section or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Links in the description below. But before we get into the rants, let's go over last week's voting results. John, who ranted that the Kentucky Wildcats would have the most interesting story in sports if not for COVID-19, got just 2% of the vote. Sorry, John. Guess not many people are Wildcats fans. You are a one and done on this show. Arguing for the NBA playoffs, Jackson got 43% of the vote. He didn't win the episode, but he actually did win the Instagram vote. So Jackson, maybe you should start a modeling page, become an influencer. Ella, who argued for the Toronto Raptors, won with 49% of the vote. So Ella, even if the NBA season doesn't continue, hopefully you feel as good as those Raptors felt last year. Lastly, Zach finished with just 6% of the vote, arguing for Andre DeGrasse. So unfortunately for him, DeGrasse places third, a bronze medal. And now, without further ado, let's get into the rants. Our returning champion, Ella Benaldi, will be arguing that Kawhi Leonard and Brad Marchand need to fight. An interesting matchup. The claw versus the nose.
I'm back, and this time I'm here to argue 2 non-MMA athletes that I think would be really entertaining to watch in a fight. And when I was trying to pick, I wanted to pick 2 total opposite athletes, so I ended up picking Brad Marchand and Kawhi Leonard. So Brad Marchand obviously is known for just being a really annoying and loud player on the ice and for overskating the puck in shootouts, but besides that, has this ability to get under his opponent's head and get under their skin, and I think that would be really beneficial in an MMA fight. And just seeing how he's fought in past NHL games, I would not want to fight him. So rather not, he's very electrifying, and I think this would be a really good matchup with Kawhi Leonard, who on the other hand is very quietly good, and I think that's his way of getting under his opponent's skin, is just doing it so quietly, and it's very frustrating that he's not getting worked up about it. And everyone's seen the size of his hands, he's known for it, so I think this would just be a really fun matchup to watch. And I'd be really curious to see who makes the first move.
Thanks, Ella. Even though Kawhi has the height, weight, and reach advantage, all things important in an MMA fight, I'm interested to see how long it takes before Brad Marchand tries to lick him. Next up is Hunter Surfless, who will be arguing that Ron Artest needs to fight Ray Lewis. For this rant, the man formerly known as Hunter will be arguing under the name Meta World Peace.
Well, as you can tell, I know my fair share about fighting. And just like anybody who knows a lot about fighting, we always say the same 2 things. 1, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight because you're going to lose. And 2, you don't bring a gun to a knife fight because even though you might win, it's going to be very, very unfair. What they don't say, and what I always say, however, is you always got to bring some crazy motherfuckers to a fist fight. That's why the two non-MMA athletes that I'm going to choose to go toe-to-toe are Ron Artest and Ray Lewis. Now, Ray Lewis is a pretty easy pick here. He's one of the most dominant athletes of his generation in the NFL, and he is basically OJ Light without a glove. And on Ron Artest's side, like I said, also one of the craziest athletes of his generation, but he's also in the center of one of the most infamous non-MMA or boxing fights of all time, the Malice at the Palace. Now, if he has no problem going after an entire section at a stadium, he's going to have no problem going up against one guy in the ring. So, Ron Artest, meet Ray Lewis, have fun.
Thanks, Hunter. For your sake, I hope you hit the competition this week harder than you hit that pad. Next up, it's Halftime. Halftime is brought to you by the virtual Jays Network, where Drew Frank and Jackson Farrow take you through every game of the Toronto Blue Jays season from now until baseball picks back up.
Only guy in the majors with 3 home runs against Trent Thornton.
And he drills that one opposite field. It looks like he goes oppo taco on Thornton there. So Austin Meadows, his 3rd home run of the season, gets the crowd going here at the Trop. It's a 1-0 ball game. The times you have with these players before their contracts get ridiculous is what you need. And Meadows hits one into deep right field. It's over the wall and gone. 2 for 2 on the day and 2 home runs. His 4th on the season. He sure has Trent Thornton's number, doesn't he?
Next, we have Kennedy Player Reed, arguing that Jose Bautista needs to fight Rougned Odor. Hey Joey, if you're listening, maybe instead of trying to hit 90 miles an hour, you should try to focus on hitting a heavy bag.
There are many athlete matchups that would make an exciting MMA fight, but as soon as I heard this question, my mind automatically thought of Jose Bautista and Rougned Odor. Everyone knows of the bat flip heard around the world that sparked the Texas and Toronto rivalry, and the dugout-clearing brawl that happened the following season after Odor punched Bautista in the face following a questionable slide into second base. These two need to fight outside of baseball, and here are 3 reasons why. First of all, Bautista's not in the MLB anymore, so that kind of took away the on-field rivalry, and now it's just kind of up in the air. Fighting in the rings would rekindle that rivalry and generate a ton of interest and attention to not only MMA fans, but baseball fans as well. Secondly, this is the perfect way to settle everything that happened on the field. After all the hit-by pitches, the booing, and the fighting, Bautista left the Blue Jays. And finally, both players took suspensions after the fight on field, and going into the ring would eliminate all that because this is MMA, not baseball.
Thanks, Kennedy. But at the end of the day, if Jose doesn't come away victorious, he'll always have this. Last but not least, we have Lucas Wacker, who will be arguing that Zach Kassian needs to fight Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, would it be too easy to market this as the Battle of Alberta?
In this corner, coming in at 6 feet tall and weighing 211 pounds, he plays on the Edmonton Oilers where his stats are skewed because he's on a line with McDavid, Zach Kassian! And his opponent coming in at 6 feet tall and weighing 202 pounds from the Calgary Flames where he plays way too much with his mouthguard, Matthew Tkachuk! Now this fight would be incredible to watch. Pride and bragging rights would be on the line. You got the Battle of Alberta between 2 guys that have their fair share of fighting reps in their careers on the ice. There is a pure hatred between Kassian and Tkachuk, and this is arguably the best rivalry in all of hockey, not only between themselves, but their teams as well. In sports, whenever there is a rivalry between 2 athletes, they often say that if they settled it in the ring, the other wouldn't stand a chance, and this fight will put that to the ultimate test, see who ends up knocked out on the canvas. So let's get ready to rumble!
Thanks, Lucas. You know, if there's anyone that really understands this question, it's you. You're a Vancouver Canucks fan. You know a whole lot about hockey and violence. A certain cup final. Well, that's it for Crunch Time this week. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More importantly, make sure you vote for the episode winner, either in the comments or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can follow all of our Crunch Time ranters on Twitter with links in the description below. Once again, be sure to tune in to the virtual Jays Network. My name is Liam Crothers, and thank you for watching Crunch Time.